Hello and welcome to Boomer and Beyond Wellness and Have It Your Way workouts. So today we're going to be focusing on bicep curls. You know, those guns. I know the ladies like them. So the accessories we'll be using today will be a sticky yoga mat. Also, we'll be using an exercise tube. However, I'm going to step closer here and I want you to see something. So those of you with hand issues, you might, if you have arthritic hands or Dupuytren's contracture or trigger finger, you want to look for soft foam handles because there are also handles that are really, really hard. They're firm. So you determine it that way too if you have those issues. So we will be using the tube. And I will also be using a set of dumbbells, free weights, also known as, and these will be 15 pounds. However, I want to level up my bicep curls. So I have done so, and I've done it by way of wrist weights, old-fashioned wrist weights. The reason why I like them, particularly for our demographic, is because they're adjustable and you can clean them because you can take them out and you can wash the cuffs, and also because of quarter-pound increments. So what I'll be using today in each of the cuffs would be 1¼ pound, thus 16¼ pounds. I cannot jump up several pounds at a time. Sometimes I can, but I just find those quarter-pound increments to be safer for us. Now, this leads me toward our precautionary measures, medical disclaimers, whatever you want to call them. But if you do have a latex allergy, be aware that the yoga mat and the exercise tube and usually resistance bands, monster cords, things like that, do have latex in them. So you do want to look for non-latex or latex-free. And the two issues that pop out to me, because it's just the one exercise, is the two issues would be golfer's elbow, which is medial epicondylitis, and tennis elbow, which is lateral epicondylitis. So if you have any chronic issues at all, no matter what, I would suggest that you all preview my videos first before participating, but come from the place of an attitude of, okay, I'm going to open up here to see what I can do, because I promise you in almost all of my videos, there's something there for you. I'm just concerned about those with golfers and tennis elbow for this particular session. So if you do preview the video and you decide, I really don't know if it's for me or not, then I would invite the medical healthcare practitioner who knows your body best to preview the video as well to help you make an informed decision. So the major muscles that are involved here, well, obviously the biceps, but they're technically referred to as the biceps brachii, and bi means two, as we know. There's also the brachioradialis and the brachialis. Now, the biceps brachii would be the primary mover to this exercise. Now, notice one thing that these three muscles have in common: brachii. So brachii means your arm. This is the forearm anatomically, but this is the arm anatomically, just so that you're aware of that. But other muscles that are involved here, now for instance, I'm going to come closer to the camera here for you. When you do a bicep curl, what's happening here is the anterior deltoid is a stabilizer. So that's involved. Also, we have the smaller muscles of the wrists and forearms involved. So you see, I go back to what I say all the time. Exercise is never reductionist. It's all about including other muscles, and that's what's super important about why we need to do it. The activities of daily living that the biceps are involved with. Well, anytime you bend down to pick up either your beautiful children or your beautiful grandchildren, you just swoop them up in your arms. Well, every time you bend, you flex the elbow, we have bicep muscle recruitment. You know, when I come home at night, I hear my beautiful cat T just yelling out to me. He knows I'm coming down the hall. I open that door and I just scoop him up as well. Also, something like that I don't do enough of would be vacuum cleaning. So anytime after I push it forward, when I pull it back, there's bicep recruitment, posterior deltoid, back muscles. And just for your information, when you go forward, we've got tricep, front deltoid, and part of the pectoral muscle. Again, not reductionist here. And also, there would be, there's a little pet peeve of mine when I watch people unload. I watch people do stuff. And so when I watch them remove their groceries, take their groceries out of their trunks to bring into their homes or their apartments, oftentimes I see this hyperextended, locked out elbows, and it is just so much stress on the body. So if you take your tote and you just slide it up to mid forearm, now we're going to bend, we're going to flex the elbow and hold in tight. We've got an isometric contraction here on the bicep. Let it help you carry those groceries. So I want to remind you, please, to head to the community tab on the channel. And here you're going to find some wonderful articles, images of muscles being activated. Typically, I like to choose the female physique because I know this is mostly who comes to my channel, but not exclusively. I might add, not exclusively, and I'm happy about that. Also, what you'll find there would be a rating of perceived exertion chart. So this is really great for those of you who have a pacemaker, or those of you who are on medications like beta blockers, or if you don't know how to take your own exercise heart rate. So it is suggested that you work at an RPE between 3 and 6 for our demographic. And also, I want to remind you, please, to stop and rest whenever you need to, when you're working out on your own. You know, you don't have to tough it out, right? So if you need to stop and rest, catch your breath, that's great. Please feel free to do it, but it is not an invitation for you to quit on yourself. All right. So even if you just give yourself one more repetition, this is how you will get stronger. And also, yes, so it's important for those of us who are 55 years and above to warm up prior to any workout for 10 minutes, and also to cool down. So on the channel, I have in one video warm up and cool down. You can use them interchangeably, but please access that so you don't want to just go into any workout super cold. Now, how we're going to work here today. Well, we're going to do one set, and a set is a group of repetitions of 15 repetitions. And we're going to demonstrate the first 5 repetitions without any resistance. This is going to be for those of you who have the chronic issues, for those of you who are brand new to exercise, or maybe you're brand new to strength training. Then the second set, or the second grouping of 5 repetitions, will be with that exercise tube. And then the final 5 will be with for me, the dumbbells and the wrist weights. But when you're working out on your own, let your sets, I would position my sets between 8 to 15 repetitions. And depending upon how seasoned you are or not at exercise, between 1 to 3 sets. And you don't want to do the same strength training exercise on consecutive days. So you want a little break in between there. And now let's get you started here on how to execute a bicep curl. So first off, we want to have a particular type of a stance, an athletic ready stance. And we can apply that to many exercises, not just the bicep curl. So what we want to do is first place the hands on the high pelvic bone. That's the iliac crest. I point the fingers straight down, not in toward each other, straight down. Then you're going to line up your ankles to knees to the inside of the pelvic bone. I'm just going to double check. Also checking to see that my toes are in a line with each other. Now, the next thing is I'm going to turn to the side, and a lot of times people stand with an anterior pelvic tilt. It's kind of like, when Beyonce twerks and all that. It's kind of doing a back bend. And what we want to do is take a gentle posterior pelvic tilt. So it's a little pelvic tuck. You don't want to go into a standing abdominal crunch because some people get carried away with that. So you just want it to be soft. So now that you know your stance with your soft knees, I'm going to come closer here for you, and we're going to demonstrate the first 5 without any resistance. Basically, what we're doing is hugging the outer upper ribs with the inner upper arms. Now, my hands are what's called pronated, meaning face down. And I'm going to incorporate a technique called supination, face up. So we curl up. Here's the exhale. Here's the supination, face up. And then we release on the way down for the inhale. Exhale on the effort on the way up. Inhale as you lower. Now, when you are not using any resistance, you want to make sure that you move slowly. You don't want to go super fast. We're going to go for one more. You pause at the peak of the contraction, which is right here, and then slow on the down. Now I'm going to grab my tubing. Notice I'm placing the tubing underneath the arches of the shoes. The wider apart the legs, the more resistance on the tubing. So you get to play with that. That's the beauty of the tubing because it's an easy fix, right? So here's that athletic ready stance, and I'm going to supinate up, pronate down. So it's not a real full pronation when you have the tubing here, but you can get a little bit. Now I'm going to turn to the side for a couple of repetitions, checking my tube. Here we go. You don't want flailing elbows. And I'm going to do one more for good luck. Exhale on the effort up, inhale down. Be careful when you release tubing, it could snap away from you. So I'm just going to place these on the floor here. Time for my old-fashioned wrist weights, but they do the job. And my 15-pounders, athletic ready stance. Now I have what's called a winged scapula. See how it just wants to drop forward? So I kind of have to roll it back into place. Now I'm going to come closer here for you. And we're going to curl up, exhale, and inhale. I have to try not to hit the microphone. That would be a good thing. One more. Inhale and exhale through the nose. And slowly down. When you have your heavier weights, you always want to make sure that you carefully place them back down on a flat surface. So that's what we have for you here today, folks, at Boomer and Beyond Wellness. And if you find some value in the content, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. Subscribing is for free. Always feel free to share the information with others, share the videos. If you have it in you to give it a kind comment as well, all of this really helps, I don't know, the algorithms and the analytics of all of this, but it really does help. And of course, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can remain current with my content. And if you're of the mind to do so, I invite you on over to Facebook and Instagram to follow me. And if you would like any private services, personal services with me as a senior fitness personal trainer, hatha, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, prenatal yoga instructor, I do provide these all remotely and on site in Miami Beach as a licensed massage therapist, and I do specialize in geriatric massage. So until next time, stay hydrated. You all know that I live a whole food, plant exclusive lifestyle. So eat your greens, eat your beans, and please be well. Thank you so much for your support.